Hi, everyone. I'm just going here and getting Instagram ready to go. So I'll get started in just a moment. Okay, well, we are live right now on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And we're here because this is Mapping with the Moon, day 2. And wow, so last week we had our solar eclipse in Aquarius. And I don't know about you, but I have experienced some major shifts within myself, and I'm seeing it happen with my friends and my clients as well. And if whatever you have noticed about your experience, I would love to hear it. Let me know if you have been experiencing a shift as well. So with this time in eclipse season, everything is super amplified, and different aspects of ourselves that maybe we've been avoiding, or different situations, it's just very, very apparent to us now. And it can feel really intense. And for those of us who are uncomfortable with change, ooh, so the best way to be in an eclipse is to accept that change is happening, and this is happening with or without you being okay with it. Of course, like we do notice how we feel about things, but change is a part of our evolution. It's a part of our growth. And these challenging times in every way, whether it's an eclipse, it's astrology, it's difficult things happening within our personal relationships, these global events, we have an opportunity to respond in a way that allows us to be in our power and allows us to grow. Now, the thing is we don't always see that in the moment. Allison, I am so happy that you are here. Thank you so much. Oh, it's wonderful to have you here. And Jackie, I'm so happy that you're here as well. Wow. And I see Casey's here and Aaron's here. Phoenix is here. Wow. So cool. So hi to everyone who's here, and hello to you if you're not here live and watching the replay. We are here for day 2 of Mapping with the Moon. And I started doing this Mapping with the Moon adventure last year during eclipse season. And some people told me, Lauren, that's crazy that you're doing this when all these planets are retrograde, and all of these things are happening, and it's eclipse season. I was like, but this is actually the best time to do that. And we're here because we are navigating some tough times together. And if we can be conscious about what's happening and see something in a new way, then we really do get to be in our power, and we can allow these breakthroughs to come in. Morgan, I'm so excited that you are here as well. And your profile says Mulgs is gods, in case you were curious about that. Tamika, I'm so happy that you're here. Yes. So Tamika mentions Mercury retrograde. This is super important because tomorrow Mercury is officially going to go into retrograde. Now, for some of us who live on the East Coast, it's actually going to be early in the morning, not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. But so we'll just say later on tomorrow night. And really, we're already feeling the impact. And this Mercury retrograde, people can fear it, but the thing is it's here to assist you in being more being more conscious about things, being aware of what you're saying, noticing your communication. Mercury rules communication and tech, and when things aren't going according to plan, it's so easy to get frustrated, give our power away. But really, it's something that's happening, and we can't control everything as much as we would like to. Illusion of control. But what we can do is we can accept that communication is going to be interesting because we're in eclipse season. This Mercury is in Pisces. We're in Pisces season right now. And a Mercury in Pisces is interesting. It's a very creative communication style. Things can be really confusing. Our thought process can kind of be over here in the clouds and there in the ocean, and then we start grasping for certainty. And the thing is we don't have to do that because we are in this eclipse time. We had the solar eclipse in Aquarius last week. Things are really changing. The paradigm has completely shifted. We don't even really know what that means yet. We're getting ready for a blood moon, a lunar eclipse. It's happening next week when we meet for mapping with the moon, day 3. And it's just a lot of energy. So right here today, let's all just take a deep breath together. And if you're here and you haven't said hi yet, I would love to see you're here. Oh, Thomas, hi. I'm so happy that you are here. Let's all just take a deep breath together. Feels so good. So at the moment of this recording for mapping of the moon, day 2, 2026, our moon, our beautiful Luna, is hanging out in Gemini. And this is brilliant for different conversations. I'm just wondering if I'm going to totally go over time and be super chatty. I'm always amazed that I can just monologue up here and just talk and talk and talk. But there's a lot of brilliance that's coming through all of us, a lot of conversations. Jeannie, I'm so happy that you're here. And this is a time where we really need to pay attention to the information that we're taking in, we're broadcasting. And when I say broadcasting, I do mean it's the things that we are talking about, but it's also what is our energy communicating? And this is so important because for this eclipse season, what we're really learning here, and with the North Node in Pisces, the last eclipse happening in Aquarius, the upcoming total lunar eclipse, it's not a total lunar eclipse, so the upcoming blood moon lunar eclipse that's happening in Virgo, it's just a lot of energy, and we need to be aware of what we're thinking and why we are thinking that. So on the day of recording this live stream, we are in a first quarter moon. Now, I love seeing what the moon is doing. This always supports me in kind of understanding where my emotions are going, where my thoughts are going, what's supporting my well-being. It also helps give grace to other people. And this is important. This is actually a huge theme that I have felt, and it's come out a lot in the different weekly transmissions that I do for my Clarity Portal community. This is my membership where I do weekly transmissions, predictions, these daily psychic minutes, and monthly forecasts. And we also just now opened our own online community called the Clarity Temple, and it's super fun. And anyway, a big theme that I've noticed that's come up is just giving ourselves and other people grace, because everyone truly is doing their best, even if we don't understand their best, or even if their intentions or their views don't align with our own. If we can give each other grace, we can allow for all of us to move forward together. So with this first quarter moon, this shows us that we're at a choice point right now. And this is also where, hi Tina, this is also where different tension comes into play. There could be a very real obstacle that's in front of you, where maybe it could be something really positive, but maybe it feels weird to receive, or maybe you're a different person than you were last week, last year, and there's just some conflict in how to move forward and integrate who you are, reconcile who you've been. How do you move forward in this new way? And then there are conflicts and disagreements that we can have with other people. And of course, we're feeling this internal conflict within ourselves. Can anyone here relate to that right now, with this first quarter moon that's happening? Because this is all an invitation to move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check the Instagram comments and see if anyone said anything. Michelle, I'm so happy that you're here. That's amazing. Yay. Okay. So as we are here for mapping with the moon, we got to talk about illusions, because one of the significations of the moon, it's illusions, but it's also intuition. It is also holding a torch and walking your unique path. This is your well-being. And there's this system that I created called the Illusions of Relationship. And this it surprised me how it came in, because it allowed me a system where I could kind of see how we were all holding ourselves back and how we didn't even realize we were doing it. It's when we get caught in an illusion. And for this first quarter moon, I was guided to talk about the illusion of absorption. So this is an illusion of relationship that it feels like very air sign-ish. So Aquarius, Gemini, where the moon is today, she will be going into the zodiac sign of Cancer, where it's going to be a lot more emo than it is right now. Hi, Kelly. I'm so glad that you're here. But this illusion of absorption, this is what happens when, like, we are smart, we've been through some stuff, we've done our research, we know how to approach something, but we can be very, very stubborn when it comes to change. And with that change, we can feel like, wow, no, I've always done it this way, and I'm not going to change. And sometimes when it comes to communication, it really does support us if we check in with ourselves and ask, what am I really communicating here? And this can just be, so just noticing right now, are there any communication things that you're noticing? And this can be higher communication too. Maybe you've been connecting with your intuition more, your guides more. Maybe you're tapped into some new thoughts. Maybe you don't know how to describe what you feel. But this illusion of absorption, it can really push love away by making us really stubborn and certain and only wanting to look at the information, not wanting to commit to making a real change. And my sense is that this first quarter moon is really bringing it to our attention, the aspects of ourselves, and just focus on one that we could transform, that we could release, that we could leave behind. So I'm going to look at the comments and take a sip of tea. So what is coming up for everyone right now? And as we move into the rest of mapping with the moon, day 3, day 2, wow, communication, we are going to have a collective reading. So this is going to be a reading that's going to be aligned for everyone that is on this call, listening and connecting. And then afterwards, I'm going to pull a card for participants who are live and who want one, and I'll let you know when I do that. So I have a comment right here. So Kelly says, if I set the intention, I do get signs while having outer body experiences, OBE, or I get words while meditating. Totally. Yes, that's an absolute, that's why I was like, this is a different kind of communication too. There's that clear audience that comes in as well. And also something that I'm really accepting, especially with the work that I do with animals as a psychic healer for animals and for humans and an animal communicator, is that the communication isn't always with words. It can come in so many ways, and we have to be open to receiving that as well. Like, all of us are so open right now. So Tamika says, stressful, trying not to over focus. Well, everything, huge, tricky Zoom call tomorrow, but bit worried I'm able to follow my talking points smoothly with confidence, grace, and ease. Totally. So if you can relate to having an important call or meeting, it always supports to just get centered before, take those deep breaths, ask for spiritual assistance. Every time before I meet with a client, before I've met with you today, I always get centered. Morgan says, wanting to let go, but not sure what to let go of. Remembering what makes up the excess I'm holding on to. Wow. That is I so get that. And sometimes we don't have the words and we don't have the clarity that we want just yet. And with Mercury being in Pisces right now, and with Mercury going retrograde, like we are probably going to be more confused. And it's also being okay with that. Not what I've seen is, like, with the illusion of absorption, with the illusion of control, we can really, really try to grasp onto things and want to control and do things like the correct way, or try what we've always tried before. But sometimes the words are just not there. And it's this knowing that comes in and the timing that it needs to come in. And one of the gifts of Mercury retrograde is that you get to slow down and you get to review. And with it in Pisces, and with Pisces with the North Node, this is a great time to really surrender and to move toward that non-traditional form of communication and trust. Kelly says, I sometimes wake up feeling like I'm vibrating. Could that be me upgrading? Probably so. I'm wondering if anyone else can relate to this. I feel like a lot of us are being upgraded right now. My husband was telling, he does like the technology to tell you like what your sleep score is. And he's like, he said, I only got like, I don't remember what it was, like 73 on my sleep score, but I feel great. And I'm like, well, maybe you were traveling and your guides gave you a glow up. Like, I don't know. And it's also fun to say that you don't know. Tamika says that's so on target. Morgan, yes, Morgan, she's awesome. Anessa, I'm so glad you're here. Thomas, I will tell Danny that you send your love. So Aaron says, I've been shifting out of the past in toxic relationship, communication, holding boundaries, and stepping into my future and work and following my passion. Wow. To shift out of the past it's so much fun, isn't it? And it's fun to see when we can get caught there. It's just like, okay, where I was just in this thing and this new situation is what is happening right now. And even if a situation, something that I remind myself of is even like when the hardest things happen, there is always light in there. There's always learning in there. Like there's an enlightenment opportunity that's there. So Casey says, definitely. My sleep has been so different this last week. I know, like I had a couple nights where I was like, why am I not sleeping? I had to like do things differently. And of course I'm looking at my astrology chart and the astrology. I'm like, okay, it makes sense, but I'm also in a body and I'm responsible for making sure that I have good sleep right now. And that is also a choice because there is so much intensity that is happening, whether we're leaving that toxic relationship. We're at this first quarter moon, and it's up to us to decide how we walk through and to give ourselves grace. Because if we're shifting out of an old paradigm or an old way of being, our identity shifting, and that can just feel like a lot. So Seriously Savage says, with the strong energetic shifts at times, feeling high can relate to the mention of vibrating. Totally. Oh, Brianna, I'm so happy you're here. I'm sorry your sleep has been crappy as well. You know, we really just, we get to do things to assist that. I've been doing things to help, and it did help. So this is great. And I feel like we're getting into the territory of doing the collective reading right now. So, and isn't it just wonderful for all of us to just say it like it is and talk about what is going on in our lives? Last year, I did this incredible, I went through 9 months with one of my groups, and it was called Reclaim Your Lunar Flame. And there were 6 women in the group, and it was just such an incredible journey of rebirthing and lunar work, and it was just such a joy for everyone to connect and talk about how life was being navigated and the different guidance that comes in. So getting to do this with you all in this new format, it just feels really, really good. And yeah, Tamika relates to the insomnia too. Wow. Kelly said, oh, I missed a couple comments. Anessa says, I used to vibrate. I don't anymore. Ever since I had a baby 3 years ago, I really made a crash landing and haven't felt the ascension like I used to. Well, maybe you adjusted to that frequency as well. And like having a baby is a whole new frequency in itself. But it is kind of cool to say, yeah, that there I've been in a season of that, and I'm sure that won't be the last time either. Um, and Kelly says, I always set intentions, especially at 31 Atlas was close to activate my dormant DNA. So that might be why I wake up feeling like I'm vibrating. That feels so cool. I am not familiar with this, so you'll have to catch me up. When yeah, so cool. Okay. So for our collective reading, let's all just take a breath together. If you're not driving and you're able to do so, I invite you to close your eyes. It helps me to close my eyes sometimes when I'm talking. And I am going to say a prayer to just set an intention for this reading that we're doing and mapping with the moon, day 2. And oh, by the way, while you're breathing, I'll tell you this logistical thing. If you have shared this with a friend, or if you are so kind as to share this with a friend, whether it's forwarding any of the emails or it's sharing the replay or sharing this talk that we're doing on social media, let me know that you did, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a drawing where I'm going to give out a gift, and I feel like I know what that is, but it'll be something that you'll love. So if you're called to share this with a friend, if you have, I will enter you in this drawing, as many people as you share with, as many friends as you tell about this. Okay, so thank you for being with me for that perk. Okay, so let's all breathe, and I'll say, Divine Creator and Creatrix, Divine Creator and Creatrix, Divine Creator and Creatrix, Luna, 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 our guides and our allies, our guides and our allies, our guides and our allies, our higher selves, our higher selves, our higher selves. Thank you so much for being here with all of us today. I request spiritual assistance in creating a space of divine love, divine light, and divine truth. I ask for support in giving this collective reading to these wonderful souls and for myself who are here today for mapping with the moon. And everyone, take a moment to set your intention for this time that we have together today. What do you want to experience, receive? How do you want to feel? My intention is that this supports all of you in navigating with love, trust, and confidence, and that there's at least one thing that supports you. Okay, so when you know what your intention is, I say, with love and with healing and gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you're welcome to share this as well. Anessa, I see that you've shared with 2 people. Thank you so, so much for doing that. I'm saying this so that I don't forget. Also, you may want to, everybody who does this may want to DM me in case I miss it in the chat. Okay, so the way that I like to do these readings is I like to draw some cards because that helps me tune in. So this is about this this is about this first quarter moon and the guidance that we have from Luna and from our higher selves on how to continue to move forward in this eclipse season. And what I am feeling right now is that we really, like, we as in humanity, like, we really need to be in touch with our emotions. So many people have them just pent up, and it comes out in all the wrong ways, and all of these ways that are violent. There's so much hurt in the world and anger, and it comes out in this way. And for those of us who are sensitive and who are empathic and who are also wanting to do our work and to be in our purpose and to move forward into that new paradigm, for those of us who assist others and who maybe have that healer archetype in one way or another, we can feel so much of what is happening. And Spirit says that boundaries are shifting. We are learning to have better boundaries. Absolutely. And some of us know when our boundaries aren't very good. But this is another kind of a boundary that's about your emotional hygiene. And Spirit is telling me this is where your power is right now. It's noticing where you get triggered, what annoys you, how susceptible you are to changing how you feel because someone that you care about is in a bad mood, or because you feel like someone is mad at you. This is very much because at this moment of recording this, Luna is in Gemini right now. So this is very much about the conversations that we're participating in. And this, to notice the quality of how connected we are, like what we're saying unconsciously, what we're communicating without knowing it. But again, there's this need for emotional maturity that's coming up, and also realizing that so many people just don't have that, and that for all of us there are new levels of that we can move into, and giving each other grace. So this comes up a lot because with that first quarter moon, we have this time of conflict, or where it's like, okay, I made a choice on how I want to move forward, and there's this obstacle or this really annoying person in my way, and if they would just behave this way, then everything would be better. We are here to notice these different things. This is some wisdom from Saturn, where we can see how we can attend to these dynamics in a new way without giving our power away. So something else that is coming in is that there's this perception of loneliness when you have a different perspective than other people. And solitude is different from loneliness. Having your time to yourself, like that exalted hermit archetype, is very, very needed. So even if you have a small child, or you're taking care of other people, or you have lots of deadlines that are happening at work, it is imperative that you take this time for yourself, this time to hear yourself, this time to be with yourself and your voice. This is so, so important. And there's also this sense of victory. You are in this moment right now where even if you tell yourself, I could be doing better, um, that's just some really rigid standards. That's the illusion of perfection. That is that comparison that's a thief of joy, because it's like, who are you comparing yourself to? Maybe the version of you from a year ago, 5 years ago would be very like maybe this is what is what that person wanted. This is so, so important to realize. So something that Spirit wants to bring to our attention, because this first quarter moon is going, like, it shows us a pivotal choice point. And while we may not know exactly what that is, there are certain, I don't know if it's like a commitment that, like certain commitments that you have, certain rituals, routines. It could even be a long-standing dynamic with someone. There's something that is here to be upgraded, because this fit one version of you, but who you're becoming has a different, would like to move through that in a different way. So right now, if you're honest with yourself, you might know what I'm talking about, but your junior, which is the Tinder word that we use for ego, your junior may dismiss it because either it's too inconvenient to change, or because maybe it's something you feel like you're just not going to be able to deal with. This is where you ask yourself, what are you buying into? Like, whose value system are you following? What are you working toward? Does it align? Do you need a pause? Do you need to still work toward that, but change the way you're working? And again, look at that while also building yourself up and realizing how far you've come. So what Spirit also wants you to know is that for your group, whether this is your family, whether this is an organization you're in, your community, different, your friend group, clients, colleagues, people see you as someone who they feel good around, someone who is here to assist. And this is a beautiful thing, because right now, especially in this eclipse season, especially with that eclipse in Aquarius, we really, that was last week, but we're still feeling it. And this whole, all of these eclipse energies are going to be playing out for 6 more months. Community it is very important. Even if it's hard to be in community or to be with people, you do need to maintain your own identity and individuality, but use these gifts as a way to be in service. So in other words, we don't want to lose ourselves in whatever role we're playing. We don't want to make a relationship our identity. And, maybe if people see you as like this nice, light-filled person, be honest with yourself about maybe how one of the dynamics could be people pleasing, or maybe you're the one that's always troubleshooting and solving problems here. So Spirit wants you to know that your strength is not going to come from outside of you. Like, yes, community lifts us up. Yes, it feels amazing when we accomplish what we want. But there are things inside of you that are asking to be strengthened. And during this first quarter moon, you're going to see where you might be vulnerable. So I'm guided to give you an example of this. I don't even think I've introduced myself yet, but I know most of you who are here. I'm Lauren K. Wyatt, and I call myself a black belt mystic. And the way that came about was I was relentlessly trolled by hordes of these toxic masculine men. And I was just like, this is interesting. But what was really cool about it is I saw how my Kung Fu and my martial arts really did support me in seeing where I was vulnerable. Even though like I didn't care who these randos who are hiding behind a screen, I didn't care what they thought. It still was like, whoa, why is this happening? And I saw how I could be vulnerable to what people thought of me, even if they were people that I didn't think highly of. So this event, this eclipse, this first quarter moon is showing you how you can strengthen yourself by noticing what you feel vulnerable about and being honest about that, and noticing where you might let your fear of what other people think hold you back. That came up last week too. So something that this collective reading ends with is that, to what Morgan said earlier, you may not know exactly what it is that you need to let go of or set a boundary about, or how your boundaries need to change. Like maybe they're too rigid, or how exactly to move into this next iteration of yourself. And you may notice what no longer aligns, but you're not really sure what to move forward with. And so this reading does not promise clarity, which I don't love, but it makes sense because we're here with this Gemini moon, and Mercury is stationing retrograde tomorrow. And we'll talk about this more next week for day 3 of mapping with the moon. But that lunar eclipse is happening in Virgo, and this is all very, very Mercury coded and Mercury retrograde coded. So we may not have the clarity that we want, and we need to practice acceptance over that, and to realize that clarity doesn't always happen on our timeline. We can be in acceptance, and we can have peace even with not knowing, and just trusting that we're going to know when it's time. I had to say it 3 times. Wow. So let's all take a break or breath. I'm going to just take a sip of tea. Vicky, hello. I'm so glad you're here. Tamika says intention, trying to give herself space and grace and room. I love that. I think that is something that everyone can do, and it can come up in ways that are unique to each of us on how to move forward. We don't need clarity to give ourselves grace. We don't need to know exactly what's going to happen to do things that we know assist us. Vicky says you're aging backwards. That's so nice. Yes, Anessa Jr., isn't that a wonderful thing? And you shared this with someone else. That's wonderful. Okay, let me go over here and check Instagram. Oh, Erin, you are so welcome. I'm so glad that you were here. Such a joy to see you. Yes. Okay. So, dear ones, we are going to move into the individual card pull session of our mapping with the moon, day 2. I am going to use my Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle. It's my favorite to use when doing card pulls. I've been doing it for a long time. And yes, so if you would like for me to pull a card for you, just go ahead and let me know. I'm only doing it for people who ask. And while I shuffle the cards, I'm remembering how when we had our Reclaim Your Lunar Flame meetings, this was with my group of 6 women, where we met for 9 months. Everyone would receive guidance and get to share, and I would always grab a card, and it wasn't always from this deck. I think Old Faithful, that's what I call this deck, came out a couple times, but everyone would always get a card with whichever one of my millions. I wish I had millions, but then I wouldn't really know what I had. Whatever the theme was, whichever oracle wanted to be a part of it. And I was always amazed at the accuracy of that. Yes. Nessa says, me, can it be regarding my relationship? Oh, for your question. Sure, of course. Great. Okay. So let me go up here to make sure. All right. So as I go to do these mini readings through these card pulls, let's just take a moment to connect. Mercury retrograde is happening tomorrow. And let's all just set an intention that we're going to be aware of what we are communicating. And we're also going to take the feedback of what's happening in our lives as a bit of a divine direction. Like if, maybe you get to take a different route to work. I'm saying this because Spirit wants us to remember that we can be directed and redirected, and sometimes we can just be so self-involved, illusion of absorption, in our own way of seeing things that we don't see it. So that's what I was guided to say before we do these card pulls. Okay. Okay, Anessa, you're up first. So Anessa, the card that comes in for you is awaiting results, number 7. And what I'm sensing is that there is some stubbornness that is involved right now. Like someone is digging in their heels about something, and the guidance is like, unless you chop a tree down, which I know that no one wants to do. Well, some people do, but there's really no way to move it, or you could uproot it. It would be like something that would be a lot of energy, different. There would be tools that needed to be involved. And the message that's coming in is patience, and to let the timing show itself. And there's also this feeling of wanting to be patient, but feeling really, really urgent about something, and just noticing that can be really helpful. And if you're waiting to hear some news, the best thing to do is to put your attention on something else that has nothing to do with that thing, but that supports your system so that you can wait joyfully. But don't try to move anyone. If someone's pressuring you, you know you need to take your time. Okay, so who is up next? Oh, Morgan. Okay, Morgan, the card that comes in is move. And when I grabbed it, it was upside down. I don't always take note of that, but for you, it seemed right to note that. So I don't know if you have been thinking about a move, and maybe that doesn't feel like it's possible right at this moment. But what Spirit wants you to know is things are going to move along for you if there is something that you can do for yourself. Like there's something that you can do that does not involve anyone else. This could be moving your body. This could be the different, like the people who you can choose to spend time with or not, the foods you can choose to eat. There's a, like you're asked to move with love, and this is going to help for that physical move or that more like of a jump to happen. Okay. Becky, I'm so glad you're here. Yay. So yours says seek the truth. And what I'm feeling here, Becky, is that you have been doubting your truth. And you've been looking at all these different ways, all of these things. You may not have the clarity that you want or the proof that you want, but there is something that you know. Like you know it is true, and Spirit's asking you not to dismiss yourself. Thomas, your card says take the lead. Wow. I feel like this may have been similar to last week. So take the lead and look at how this hand is just like holding this fire. This is so special. There's all of this energy here. You have a lot of power with your hands, a lot of creative power. And there's something that wants to come through you that you're guided to make, something that you can build and share with others. This is also asking you to connect with what has been touching your heart lately, and to really use that as you move forward, and to touch, emotionally touch with joy, even if a part of your leadership is letting people know how to get on track in a new way. Okay, Phoenix, I'm so happy I get to pull a card. Yeah, I saw it was like blank for a minute. I was like, okay, I don't know. Okay, so Phoenix, your card is Seek, number 9. Girl, I am seeing that you would feel amazing if you went and sat on the grass, and if you just let yourself hang out with the birds. You are in need of nature and some time alone. And this bird wisdom here is something, and I'm remembering like your art and different birds and bird iterations that you've drawn. There's a need for nature and there's a need for art, and that's how the divine would love to speak and connect with you in your solitude. Okay, I'm going to go over here to Instagram to see if okay, Jackie. Okay. Jackie, the card that I pulled for you is Master. And I love this card because it lets us know when we have a huge opportunity to reframe how we are, like how our body feels in a situation. As before someone brought up that they'd gotten out of a toxic relationship, they were doing things differently with their boundaries. And for you, Jackie, there is a huge opportunity to really see how your body feels and to assist yourself with some somatic work right now, as a way to expand your nervous system, because you have a beautiful opportunity that's in front of you. And if this hasn't come up yet, it's going to, and you want to say yes, but there's just some fear around it. It's a fear of the unknown. It's a fear of the past repeating. But you need to see that this is junior, and junior is a tender word that we use for our ego. Junior comes up when we are going to leave our comfort zone, when we are expanding our nervous systems. So master. So notice how you feel about that new opportunity. If there's fear, again, give yourself grace, be loving and gentle, do some somatic work, let it flow. And when it's time, you will know. So again, on Instagram, Casey, of course, clarity of belief, number 1. There is so much magic in you. And if you can really allow that clarity in, because you have such clarity right now, it may be something that feels inconvenient. It may be something that you don't like, something that feels like, oh, like this is going to be a big old obstacle to move through. You need to trust yourself and to know that when you put yourself first, when you put yourself first, Casey, like miracle types of energies happen, and you have to remember that you are worthy of that. And if these cards are resonating with any of you and it's not your card, just know that that's not by accident. It's that we're all in this field together. And that's what happens. So someone else. Brianna, yay. I'd love to pull a card for you. Brianna, your card is manifest. Wow. Okay. So this shows me that the way that you see things can really determine your success. And there's something that you want to do. This is kind of similar to Casey's, but different. There's something that you want to do. And the only like true obstacle is believing that you can, or that you can have that thing. So Spirit is asking you to have a positive outlook about it, and to really move into this, like, of course I can have that. Of course it's mine. And you can even paint it, create it into being. So, Tamika, this card is yours. Opportunity beckons. This card. Again, so here's a third theme of different opportunities here. There is something that is here for you, and it's something that you may feel a little reluctant about. And what you have to know and what we all get to remember is that the universe is always responding to our inquiries, to our thoughts, to our prayers. And if there is something or someone that you want, the opportunity is here. Now, it may not feel like the best timing, it may not come in the package that you want, but it is here. This is also an opportunity for you to allow for things to be simple. It doesn't have to be so hard. Okay. Sandra says, yes, and please, and thank you in advance. Love listening to you. Sandra, I'm so happy that you're here. She says, I'm going on vacation with my son on Thursday, traveling down south, and I feel this is going to be a clarity trip. Amazing. Wow. I love traveling. It's so good. I'm so excited for you. So Sandra, when you said yes, please, I think you meant that you want a card and this one feels like it's yours. Healing begins. Yes, this trip that you're going on is going to be very healing for you. And the clarity that's going to come through, it's going to be different. It's going to be an emotional clarity. And isn't that, to me, like I'm a Cancer moon, so it always, like, that always feels like the best kind. It's going to be this emotional clarity where you can really start to experience this phase of life that you are in through your heart, and this new iteration of trusting that it is safe to have an open heart. And to also know that you are loved, and like this is a coming out for you. It's like this is the trip that you take when you are this version of yourself. Wow. Morgan says, no way, I'm moving in with some friends in the next couple weeks. Awesome. Yes. So just all you get to do is continue to move yourself along so that all goes smoothly. That is so cool. Yeah, maybe that's why it was upside down. It's like, yes, there's a move, but there's a deeper message with this too. So Anessa says, yes, totally. It's been 6 years of waiting for this stubborn to move. LOL. I feel like the direction of putting my attention on something else that brings me joy. I love that. And that helps because there's that saying, the watch pot never boils. And it is so annoying when we're like waiting for someone to do something and they don't. And it bothers me because in moments like that, I notice that I will give my power away. And that's a place where I can be vulnerable to being in separation from my spirit and not with joy. And so I love that. So put your attention on what matters to you, because that's going to give you the joy and the clarity. But moment we try to make something happen on our timeline, it can get really frustrating for everyone. Yay, Vicky. Yes, please, she says. Okay, third eye chakra. Wow. So I did grab it upside down. I'm tuning in for what that means. It's not that this is blocked. I'm seeing that there are different spiritual experiences that are coming in. There's lots of new data streams, thought processes that are coming in. Spirit would love for you to focus your attention on the one that feels the most precious to you. And yes, you can focus on that and it will help the other things to fall into place. But this is where your focus is needed to assist you in really aligning your field to these new levels of joy. And you two get to keep a more optimistic outlook, and to notice when you get caught in in confusion or overthinking, and just come back to yourself. For all of us, we get to remember this as we are moving toward that blood moon eclipse in Virgo. Mercury is going into retrograde. Neptune is doing Neptune things in Aries with Saturn. So really important for all of us to accept that confusion will happen. Don't try to make something happen or turn it into anything, but caring for our bodies, going outside, being in nature, very, very important. I'm going to go over here and check Instagram. Okay, I don't see any over here. Becky says, well, that is about spot on. Cool. And Anessa says, thank you. Ruby, hi. Yes. Ruby, your card is flow. And this is really reminding you to go with the flow. I am feeling that so much is opening up for you right now. There's a transition that is occurring. We see that this man, he's standing in water. He has his hand on his heart. So he's like in these two different worlds right now. There is flow happening, and you really get to trust the process and where you are led, and to keep loving yourself. The number 10 here in the I Ching, the human design system, this is a gate of self-love. So really being responsible for what allows for you to be happy, and spirit is like, you are deserving of this. Go with the flow. Touch some grass, Phoenix. Yes. Yes, that will support. I love that. Thomas, right on. Thank you, Lauren. You're so welcome. Michelle, I'm so glad that you made it. Okay. Michelle, the card that comes in for you is Crown Chakra. Wow. So there is, what I'm feeling about you is that you usually solve problems for people. You're good at thinking about things. There's a creativity and originality, possibly like that, to the different thoughts that you have. And spirit wants you to make sure that the different mental projects that you are working on or putting your time into, that these support you, that these nourish you, because you really do have such a gift in this way. And it really replenishes you when you're researching, when you're writing, when you're problem solving, for it to be about something that really that feels good to you, that is replenishing to you. It's really important that you realize that you can be tuned into the different realms of thought, the different conversations, even spiritual practices that bring you joy. You can choose that and realize the gifts that you have in this way. Okay, Kelly, this is your card. Your card is listen. Number 2. I pulled it upside down, and what I'm sensing is that it's time for you to share your work. There's been a lot of processing. You know so much about what you know, and it's time. Maybe there's some channeling or different gifts activating within you. It's time for you to maybe start writing that book, to start creating in that way, because the same messages have been coming through for a while, and it's time for you to trust that and to share it, to share your wisdom. Yes. Okay. Helene, I'm so glad that you're here. Yay. Okay. Helene, this card is rebuild. I grabbed it upside down, and Spirit is really calling attention to how much you have rebuilt. You are no longer in the remodel. You are no longer rebuilding. You are built. There's this beautiful structure, this gorgeous building. Of course, I'm speaking metaphorically, like this is about your life, where you can really invite others into it, where you can share. Spirit is asking you just to own, like you really, like this isn't even a new chapter. It's a new book, and you are stronger than you know. Oh, Nessa, you're a Cancer moon too. That's so special for us. Sandra, heart to you. Yay. Ooh, Ruby's flowing back to Austin. Yay. Love that. And Kelly says, I'm actually writing an article about my outer body experience. Thank you. See, these are such amazing, amazing synchronicities. I'm going to check. Okay, Jackie, you are so welcome. And Nanook0114, this is for you. I think this is my last card that I'm going to grab. Nanook, yours is nurture. And what I'm sensing here is that you are often in charge of so many things, and Spirit would like for you to nurture yourself, to nurture your interests, to stop putting others before you. One of the illusions of relationship, the illusion of sacrifice, is really calling to be shared. And this may not be exactly for you, but someone here needs to hear this. The illusion of sacrifice is when we care for others at the expense of ourselves, and where we do not care for ourselves. And it's not for negligence, it's just that we feel like love is sacrifice. And you are guided to really nurture yourself, because when you do this, this uplifts everyone around you. And there is something in your life also that needs to be nurtured. This is an aspiration or a dream from you. Like you get to give yourself permission to nurture that and to nourish that and to take those next steps forward. Okay, so we're going to conclude mapping with the moon. And oh, your little dog. Oh, I don't know if I've seen him posted. Okay, Thomas, his card says share the love, so you're going to have to post pictures for us. You know, they're like I am an animal communicator. I love all animals. I think cats are the cutest, but dogs, like I love them so much. They are so special. Like, so let's all have that warm, fuzzy feeling of dogs, of cats, whatever it is that gives us that joy. So that's a gift that Mandino gave us, Thomas. So I did, Anessa, I gave Michelle her card. I did. And and Candace said bunnies have a new place in her heart. Yes. Candace, you asked me for a card. I don't think I pulled one for you. Glad I saw that. That was okay. Candace, your card is moving on. You know, this card moving on this, like with it being on the beach, we see that there is a transition that is happening right now. And the number 8 up here, this is the infinity that reminds us that even in death, the soul lives on, life goes on. And that is a message that is coming through for you. It's not like move on, forget about it. It is move on with this special place in your heart. And this is for everyone here. If you're navigating a loss, or you're grieving, or you're in a big transition right now, when we move on, we don't have to do it with a like burn the past down kind of an attitude. We can move forward with our grief and who we have become, knowing that is an expression of love, and not to deny ourselves of that. Wow. So that is some good closing wisdom. We are going to meet next week for day 3 of Mapping with the Moon on Tuesday, the 2nd at 6 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to get into all things eclipse and the wisdom that wants to come through there. And if you're a Clarity Portal member, I will be sharing some resources to go with the replay, and we can continue to talk about this transmission in our Clarity Temple group. But for now, to all of you, thank you so much for spending time with me, for spending time with yourself, and for choosing to move forward with this first quarter moon with that love and that trust and that confidence. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.